with a timeless reading for Sagittarius. So, this reading is starting off in the center with the Circle card and the Messenger of Fire. And it's crossed by the lower world. So, there's been a lesson that you have learned where you've come into understanding really deeply about how everything is one, everything is related. We're all one. This circle represents how what you do for another, you do for yourself. Nature, spirit, people, everything's connected and everything's important. If you believe in that mutual support, what goes around comes around, karma. We're all here to give and receive from each other, and what you give, you receive. And what you give is important. So if you smile at someone, it can change their mood, it can change their day, the smallest things, so interconnected. And the Messenger of Fire is the Knight of Wands, but in this deck, she's a much more gentle version of that. She's very full of enlightenment, very connected to spirit. And so that is what you, Sagittarius, are bringing to the world, is this feeling of oneness and this spiritual enlightenment, crossed by the lower world. So what's challenging you is that you have been using this feeling to purge and dive deep into your shadow side, and it looks really, you have a lot of confirmation of that, because the situation is resting on Epona's wild daughter from the fairy oracles, and that card is about nightmares, madness, depression, all the difficulties that come when you do go into the lower world, like it looks like you've been doing. The good part about Epona's wild daughter and the lower world is that there's always lessons and important information that you can receive by going down into your shadow and finding what made it like that. And you do have a lot of cards of manifestation. So it is possible, if you are a master maker, which I have here, the magician, the master maker from the fairy oracles, if you do have that kind of power and you were operating from things in the lower world that had not been healed, past traumas, childhood issues, things that you believed about the world, and you created for yourself repeat scenarios of nightmarish situations, and you had to find out why did I manifest these things instead of beautiful things. And it was because you didn't yet look down deep at what you were hiding away in a closet in your subconscious, and it was all your manifestation abilities were pushing through this darkness, and when you were creating, you were adding in some creepy stuff. So looks like you've been doing that, you've resolved that. It looks like you're heading forward now, cleaned out. Your recent past, you have the Messenger of Water, which is the Knight of Cups. So it's some sort of new love in any form, way, shape, or form that may come in for you or have come in for you in the recent past. It could be a person loving you, a new person. It could be you loving yourself. It could be love of your child. It could be any way that love manifests, a pet, or even just this understanding of this circle of life and realizing how important offerings of love are within that circle. You're crowned by the vulture spirit, which is nothing is wasted. So all this stuff that you unearthed, even in some of the things that came about from the nightmares, even from some of the stuff that you learned and grew from that was difficult or frightening or sad, it's still not wasted. You still learned very important things that you can now use. everything that you learned is important, and there's nothing at all in the situation that you were presented with that did not teach you something. It all taught you something. It all grew you. It all shaped you for who you are now. And so appreciate it all. Because you have the celebration card clarifying the lower world. So it looks like you've had a success. She's this angel standing under the moon. So the moon is the secrets, and they're reflecting onto the water in this card. So it's, you've seen it. You've looked at it, you've done it, you've done the work, you opened the closet, you looked in there, you saw it was in there. And now you can celebrate because you're dealing with it, and it can no longer rule you. It can no longer create your world for you. You will be able to have this master maker ability in a pure manner. And you're advised to focus and embrace this harmony card as well. So you want to stay in balance. You want to focus on what you are looking for and have harmonious feelings within you to do so. So anytime if you're sitting and thinking, or life is presenting things to you and you're deciding where you want to go, get to a feeling of harmony inside of you. Maintain this feeling of harmony along with your focus, and that will manifest what you desire without clouding it with emotions. It's all about the emotions. So when you have these things in the lower world, they make you feel yucky things. You might not say anything yucky. You might not think details of unpleasant things, but the emotion within you is a vibratory emotion that will attract. So you want to keep this feeling of harmony through meditation, prayer, positive thinking, whatever it is for you, imagining beautiful things, and constantly redirecting your focus if your mind wanders towards worrisome things or unpleasant things. So inside you have the spider spirit, clarified by the regret from the soul's journey. So the spider spirit is about making your dreams reality and being clarified by the regret. The regret says, I know that I cannot change the past. So keep the past in the past. You can't change it, but as you go forward and make your dreams real, this past should stay in the past, and then you won't create anything more that you will have to regret. Now the electric eel spirit is what you're showing the world that's outside of you, and that is clarified by the love. So electric eel love is really great. It's vibrant, it's staticky, it's charged. So that love card is always saying, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things, which goes to the circle card in the beginning of seeing the interconnectedness. So if you see everything from this soul perspective, the spirit perspective of unconditional love, and you're not viewing things negatively, this bringing your ideas into life with the electric eel can be supercharged because it's full of that beauty and love. So the 3 of fire is in your hopes and fears section, and I would assume that's hopes. You're looking for the next adventure. You're setting forward with this focus and harmony, like, okay, I have healed. I've found my stuff that I needed to deal with, and now when I create, I'm ready for my opportunity. I'm ready to go. Your final outcome here is the Queen of Fire, which is the embodiment of the new you. Heart-centered, this glowing heart of golden, yellow, orange light from the candle lighting up this with warmth. It's a warm heart, a warm-heartedness, bringing your warm-heartedness to the world. And it looks like these are clarified by the earthworm and the peacock. So in the past, you may have been the earthworm because you were pensive, thinking about things below the surface, like the earthworm under the ground. There was a rainbow in there, but you were the worm and you couldn't see your own rainbow because you were focused on the worminess down in the dirt. The worm has transformed into the peacock, which, I mean, great. The peacock is confident and kind in this deck. So, and it's connected to spirit in just regular readings. The way they have the eyes all over the feathers, the eyes, and it's related to Lakshmi in the Hindu religion, which is it's all great. I mean, it's a beautiful spiritual bird that has emerged after this earthworm has realized the rainbow within. So the final card here I have is the Sacred Scar. All right. And this is card number 11, which is a master number, just like the master maker is a 22 here. So that's might be relevant to people that like numerology. Now, the Sacred Scar talks about the eagle pushing the baby eagles out of the nest and just telling them, go for it. And they don't know how to fly, but they do, because that's how the eagles learn how to fly, is just getting shoved out. And there's that moment of panic where they're not sure if they know how to do it, but then they do. And that moment of panic, that trauma, ends up building their strength and power. It makes them realize that they can do things that they're afraid to do. So when you go through intense experiences that end up leaving you scarred, it's not something that spirit has created for you. It's what you've created for yourself based on improper or unreal beliefs of negative things. And as you're learning to stay in the light, you won't be doing that anymore, but spirit wants to help you heal from what you did do that hurt. So it says here, if you're deep in suffering now, know that spirit is with you, loving you and bringing you this oracle. You shall heal. Do not give up. Proceed until you are exactly where you most want to be. You have the inner spirit to ensure even a negative experience will only cause positive growth in you and your life. So it's about alchemical wisdom. It's about turning the lead into gold. It's the stuff that's down there in the shadows is valuable because it's your puzzle. It's your specific ingredients that you can turn into gold. And it looks like you're gonna, because the Queen of Fire has this golden heart, the heart of gold. And she's no longer an earthworm. She's a peacock, totally confident, not shy anymore. The earthworm's very shy. The peacock is the opposite of shy. So this is beautiful. I hope whoever this resonates with gets a thrill, a charge, an electric eel charge out of this excitement that's coming for you. And I will see you next time, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for tuning in.